Stella and the Rainbow Vine. Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by rolling hills and colorful meadows, lived a clever girl named Stella. Stella lived with her grandmother in a cozy cottage. They were happy, but they struggled to make ends meet. One day, their only cow, Buttercup, stopped giving milk, and they had nothing left to sell. Determined to help, Stella decided to take Buttercup to the market. On her way, she met a mysterious old woman who offered her a handful of shimmering rainbow seeds in exchange for the cow. "These are no ordinary seeds," the woman said with a wink. "Plant them tonight and you'll see." Stella, feeling hopeful, accepted the seeds and returned home. Her grandmother was skeptical but agreed to plant the seeds. They planted them in the garden, and by morning, an enormous vine, vibrant with all the colors of the rainbow, had grown up into the sky. With curiosity and excitement bubbling inside her, Stella decided to climb the vine. Up and up she went, higher than the tallest trees, until she reached the clouds. There she found a magical land with sparkling rivers, golden meadows, and the most beautiful castle she had ever seen. Stella cautiously approached the castle and peeked inside. To her amazement, everything was enormous. She tiptoed through the grand hall until she reached the kitchen, where she saw a giantess stirring a huge pot. Before Stella could hide, the giantess turned and saw her. "Who are you, little one?" the giantess asked kindly. "I'm Stella," she replied nervously. "I climbed the rainbow vine from my village below." The giantess smiled warmly. "Don't be afraid, Stella. My name is Glenda. I rarely have visitors here. Would you like something to eat?" Stella nodded, and Glenda gave her a piece of bread that was as big as a loaf in her village. As Stella ate, Glenda told her about the treasures in the castle: a magical harp that played enchanting music, a goose that laid golden eggs, and a crystal flower that could heal any ailment. As they talked, a deep rumbling shook the castle. "My husband, the giant, is coming!" Glenda exclaimed. "Hide quickly." Stella hid behind a large vase as the giant entered the kitchen. "Fee, fee, fo, fum, I smell the blood of a human," he bellowed. "It's just your imagination, dear," Glenda soothed. "Here, have your dinner." The giant grumbled but sat down to eat. Soon he fell asleep, snoring loudly. Seeing her chance, Stella crept out of her hiding place. She remembered her grandmother's needs and decided to take the crystal flower to heal her ailments. As Stella reached for the crystal flower, the magical harp suddenly started playing a soft tune. The giant stirred, but Glenda quickly sang a lullaby, keeping him asleep. Stella, with the crystal flower in her arms, hurried out of the castle and down the rainbow vine. Back in her village, Stella used the crystal flower to heal her grandmother. News of the magical flower spread, and soon people came from all around seeking its healing powers. Stella used the flower to help everyone, and the village prospered. One day, feeling adventurous, Stella decided to climb the rainbow vine again. She wanted to return the crystal flower and thank Glenda. When she reached the castle, Glenda welcomed her with open arms. "You've returned, Stella," Glenda said happily. "I see you brought back the crystal flower." Stella nodded. "It's helped so many people in my village. I wanted to thank you and return it." Glenda smiled. "You have a kind heart, Stella. Because of your honesty, you may keep the crystal flower. It will continue to bring you and your village prosperity, and take this golden feather from our magical goose as a token of our friendship." Stella accepted the golden feather gratefully and returned to her village. With the crystal flower and the golden feather, Stella and her grandmother lived happily, helping others and sharing their good fortune. From that day on, Stella and Glenda remained friends, and Stella often visited the magical land above the clouds. She continued to climb the rainbow vine, knowing that adventures and treasures awaited her in the enchanted world above. The end.